Q&A session, and we'll address your question. We'll be back to that one. Okay, so the next speaker is social TV for 3G, accessible platform integrated in television in order to promote social relations for the elderly in the network. This is from Estibaliz Ochoa from the Vodafone Foundation, Spain. Well, thank you very much, Miguel Angel, for the presentation, for your kind presentation, and thank you, all of you, for joining us in this workshop, and for the organizers for their interest in this project. I want to talk about social TV, and like Esther's projector, this project is co-financed by the Ministry of Tourism, Commerce and Trade, and co-financed by Qualcomm through the Wireless Rich. In this project, Cruz Roja is involved, as well as the Foundation of Social Technologies, Texas, and Vodafone Spain Foundation, which is the body I work with. If we look at these statistics, 28% of elderly live alone. If we notice the elderly, it's actually 38%. This number actually goes up to 30%. Normally, they feel alone, and when they're alone, this leads to social isolation. And it can lead to a number can lead to depression, and also an elderly person, when they're isolated and they're inactive, normally they experience physical deterioration as well as cognitive and also health problems as a result of all the above. One of the most relevant, most important revolutions in this century has been internet. As you know, this started as a contact tool for a reduced group of people, mostly at the university level to date, which now has gone to a worldwide scale. Spain has had a considerable implementation of social media. It's one of the fastest in implementing it, in fact. And of course, what we don't want just a few to benefit from these digital social media. We also believe that there's a need to ensure that the implementation can be more homogeneous and introduce and bring these technologies to the elderly population, who are more vulnerable. So that's how this social TV project came about. Our mission is to reduce the barriers of the elderly people and enable them to have a virtual meeting point, where they can meet other people and where they can share experiences. So this project, the aim of this project is aimed at preventing these problems, the problems that elderly are facing, plus the additional diseases, by giving them a broadband connection to the internet, and through this accessible social platform connected to the television. So what we're trying to do here is to define, develop, and promote the use of this virtual point of access. It's for the elderly, again, so they communicate, inform, talk to each other, chat, and share experiences with other users. And thanks to the Spain's Red Cross partner in this project, we have their full support and follow-up on this virtual point through the volunteers and their professionals that are specializing in elderly. So the main objective is to reduce that feeling of isolation, through promoting the social media by validating the technology that we've used. So what we want to do is to measure the state of health of these elderly as they become familiar with this device and they grow to use it. In addition, another thing we want to develop is that thanks through the internet and through the broadband, we can reduce communication barriers that exist between the elderly and the environment. So what is the target, the ideal target? Well, someone older than 60, for a user that is, someone older than 60, feeling alone. Yeah, but again, it doesn't have to be people living on their own. It could be people living with a partner or with family that don't have experience any cognitive deterioration, but that may have some mobility problems, but must have minimum capabilities to use new technologies, for example, television, and also being able to use them. So the project was launched in September 2009 and will end in December this year. Our approach has been basically to have different stages of development. The first stage was in the definition, technical specifications, and design specifications. That was 3 remaining months of 2009. In the course of 2010, given the first design, we conducted a number of sessions to validate the technical solutions with users and experts. And in the course of this year, we set up a pilot project. We're doing this in 12 autonomous communities in 41 provinces. We're testing it with 100 users, and we have 50 teams. 100 users and 50 equipments. Some of these equipments are installed in some of the users, but in other cases, the equipments are being installed in one of the Red Cross's centers, daycare centers, so it can be used by more than one user. So again, the aim is to improve social inclusion of these of the elderly, and we have to have a very clearly defined stages of development. We had, as I said, the support of professionals working with elderly from the Red Cross and also Red Cross users. We conducted a number of some testing. The first version of social TV was conducted by the workforce, the three companies working in this project: Texas, Red Cross, and Vodafone Foundation, Fundación Vodafone. They came up with a prototype of a digital network for the elderly. Well, the first prototype was introduced to 10 professionals in 3 different provinces. We presented these solutions, and we conducted also in-depth interviews with them to understand how they felt this social TV should be done. Then we had a prototype that was presented to the users to get their feedback, to see how they felt the social media should be conducted. We also did a focus group with 8 elderly individuals. It could be users of social TV because they did meet all the requirements for you to use social TV. And lastly, when we had the prototype was fully wrapped up, we did a usability test with 5 different users that validated it, always giving them feedback. And that has become our current platform of social TV, where we're doing pilot projects in the different provinces. So what are the main functionalities? Well, as you can see on the screen, we have 2 main functionalities. We got you can see across the screen, versus the meeting point and contents, punto de encuentro and contenidos. Punto de encuentro, meeting point, is video communication among elderly that may or may not know each other, but